of that theme of just embracing who you are and people being assholes for no reason, let's talk about the first track. Let's talk about Born Pretty. I love this track. I love what it represents. I think it's beautiful. I think it's fun. Tell us about it.
Thanks. So it's this is probably, it's at least one of my favorites on the album, if not my favorite. And I think I like the lyrics because it's just about a girl who is okay with herself. And, the lyrics are about, she's got a glass eye and a limp and little bitty titties and a gap tooth and all the things, and the boys judge her and say how you make it in this big bad city. And she says, I guess I got lucky. I was just born this pretty. And I think that it's just a way to say, be yourself and be okay with that. No matter what you look like or what people say about it or what age you are, any of the things. And that's why I love it so much, because of what it represents. And I think the tune is also catchy and fun, and it's kind of an empowerment tune, for anybody, women, men, whatever.
100%.
But, so I think that's why I like it so much, and I'm really proud of it, and I love how it came out, and it rocks, man. It's fun. It's got a good groove, and the band is they sound killer on it. So I really like that tune a lot. Proud of it.
Yeah, it's a great song. Specifically, I like the intro is pretty cool because it sounds like it has bells at the beginning of the song. Are those actual bells?
There aren't. It's just a guitar at the beginning. And I don't think we did any kind of cowbell or anything like that with it. I can't remember because we did so much of it kind of in pieces, and then Jeff went and made the magic happen, mixing everything together, and who knows what little Easter egg stuff he threw in there to kind of give it some sparkle. So it's possible. I don't think so, but it's definitely possible. And I know what you're talking about. It's got that kind of sonic sound of like a bell at the beginning.
Yeah, so I was hearing it and I was like, am I hearing this right? When I first heard it, I was like, that sounds like bells. That's kind of cool. But the riff of that song is really good too. And the guitarist gets to play, and I appreciate that. My favorite lyric, you've already mentioned some of. Unibrow longer than an old highway, lazy glass eye that keeps on rolling away, short right leg, and I got a little sway. But a girl with a limp never had a bad day. So those are great lyrics. So specifically writing that, what made you link unibrow and glass eye together? What was it about those two that you were like, this is a marriage? Glass eye.
I don't know that I can tell you the answer to that. Some of those lyrics sort of come to me. The way that I write music is almost always visual. I kind of visualize a person or a scenario or something along those lines and kind of write around that concept. So in my mind, I was kind of picturing a person, right? Like a person that had an eye patch or like a unibrow that she's got to shave every day or doesn't, and hairy ass armpits and, no bra and a wife beater. Like I'm just picturing a person like that. It's like, fuck it, this is me, take it or leave it. And so I don't know how it all sort of came together lyrically like that, but I like that. I like those lines too. I will say I like the unibrow. And it was kind of sometimes I think about how to write a song. I'll have like a prompt, like, okay, let me see if I can write a song that has to do with a unibrow. And so sometimes you can kind of build out from there, and this might have come from a little bit of that as well.
On the corner by the city limit sign, I chip my tooth down on Hollywood and Vine. Crazy long hair, but I like the way it shines. A little bitty booty, but I shake it just fine. Got a unibrow longer than an old highway, and a lazy glass eye keeps on rolling away. Short right leg and I got a little sway, but a girl with a limp never had a bad day. Well, the boys making noise every place I'm at, saying, girl,
That's what I was wondering, because I was wondering, I want to do something with this, and then, I can add this too. Oh, and if this was going on, this could be the other thing I have going on too. So I figured, and I was wondering, did you have anyone that you were bouncing these ideas off of, where you're like, is this funny? Is this stupid? Or did you just write it and go?
I don't do a lot of that, because everybody's got such a different opinion about music. It's such a subjective thing. So if I listen too much about what people think, I can change what I think, and it can affect where I think the song needs to go. And so I try to get the bones of it down. I try to get the melody down. Sometimes I'll be a little bit work in progress on the lyrics, and I'll maybe send it to a person or two to take a listen, maybe some of my producers or whatever, and say, does this have bones, or do we really need to rework it? But a lot of the changes happen in pre-production versus early on, because I like to get songs in my own head where I think they should be as best as I can do with whatever's in my own brain before I take it to anybody else. And then once I get it, as it might be a little half baked still, but once I get the basic melody and as many of the lyrics as I can get, then I'll take it and say, okay, let's work it out in pre-production. And then maybe I need to go back and rework some stuff. Born Pretty actually started as a different song. It actually started as God Save the Queen, which is another tune on this album. They sort of sprouted from the same lump of clay. And so the tune for God Save the Queen, the chorus is "Let's rock." And so when I had those lyrics attached to the groove for Born Pretty, it was just too slow, because we would get to the chorus and be like, "Let's rock," and it just didn't have the same effect. And so so once I got into the studio, I was like, yeah, these lyrics don't go with this groove, but I can write new lyrics because I've had this idea in my head. And so I took that groove and rewrote all the lyrics for it and the melody, and used the lyrics from what it was originally Born Pretty and moved them over to what is now God Save the Queen. So sometimes that happens, where maybe the lyrics and the groove just don't quite match up, because you need to have a feel, it needs to. God Save the Queen has this "let's rock" thing. Well, that's got to be an up-tempo kind of punk kind of feeling song, and otherwise it's just not going to work with the lyrics. So there was a mismatch. So sometimes that happens.
I thought I was for sure Brent would have something to say after that. I don't know why.
I thought she answered that very well.
She did. She answered it beautifully.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I was waiting for Brent.
Well.
Shut up. I was waiting for Brent to be like, "That's happened to me," but no.
You just gave me the bird. What the hell's wrong with you, lady? Put your glass side back.
I won't go that far. I heard it. She did okay. Her answer was all right.
It's fine. Haters gonna hate.
Suffice.
Hey, I wasn't hating. Wasn't hating, people.
You weren't applauding either.
There's a lot of exciting things going on in her music, so.
I know. Why don't you ask another question then?
Well, we need to start talking about Drift Away, and then I can start asking questions.